Hi team, welcome to Cloud Pandit. In this Azure Data Factory Master Program video series, in today's session we will see how to create Azure Data Factory step by step using the user interface. This Azure Data Factory we can create it in multiple ways using the Python software development kit, that is SDK. We can able to use to create the Azure Data Factory. We can use PowerShell to create Azure Data Factory. We can use CLI to create the Azure Data Factory. So in this particular session, we will focus on creating Azure Data Factory using the user interface. That is nothing but using the Azure portal. In our previous session, we already discussed how to log in into the Azure portal, and there is a walkthrough. If anybody is not watched that particular session, you can go back and watch that particular session, which give you complete knowledge on how you can able to understand the complete Azure portal, how to navigate for the required resources. Now, the prerequisites to create the Azure Data Factory, if you look at, the first one is subscription. What is subscription? It is an agreement with the Microsoft that grants access to their cloud platform, that is Azure. Right? What is the cloud platform? What services they will grant the access is? Almost all the services you can able to access it if you have the active subscription. Okay, they will basically allow you the access to access all the Azure services if you have the active subscription. The second point, it says it allows users to use and manage various cloud services and resources offered by Azure, such as virtual machine, database, storage, data factory, Databricks, data lake, blog, and so on, many more. Okay, anything user can able to create and he can able to manage the various cloud services, whatever I mentioned. The third point, it says subscriptions are tied to building accounts, provided a way to organize and pay for Azure services based on usage. Yes, based on number of pipelines that you are running in Data Factory, based on the data that you are processing using Databricks. So many factors, based on the many factors, the charges will be applied. Those charges will be deducted from the subscription if it is a free trial. So if you are going for the pay as you go, first they will charge you against all the services that you have used. At the month end, you will get the invoice saying that this is the total charges that you need to pay. So you are going to make the payment and keep using the resources. Every month there will be invoice generates. So you are going to make the payment. So in order to use any service, not only the Data Factory in Azure, if you want to use any service, the first and foremost important thing is we need a Azure subscription which you want to use with that particular service. So in this particular case, we need to choose the Azure subscription you want to use for the Data Factory that you are creating. This is one of the prerequisite. The second prerequisite, if you see, resource group. Azure Resource Group is a logical container that helps organize and manage related Azure resources together. Let's say if I start a new batch, there is a Data Factory Synapse one batch, Databricks one batch. Whoever registered for the Databricks, I'll add them into the Databricks. Whoever registered for Azure Data Factory and Synapse, I'll add them into the separate group. So this basically helps to manage the people separately based on how they are relevant, right? Similarly, this Azure resource groups is also a logical containers that helps organize and manage related Azure resources together in real time. We will have a resource group for development environment, one resource group for UAT, one resource group for production, one resource group we will have. Okay, and it acts as a unit of management, enabling easy provisioning, monitoring, deletion of resources as a group. Let's say you have created Azure Data Factory, Databricks, Data Lake, Key Vault, and so on, 10 services. Now you are using different services. Now you want to know total charges that you need to pay for the Microsoft Azure. So it is very simple. You can go to the resource group and see the charges against that resource group. What this resource group does, it will summarize all the charges that you need to pay for each individual service, and it will show you. Tomorrow you want to delete any all the services that you have in the resource group. Instead of deleting one by one, you can delete the resource group, which deletes all the dependencies, everything within the resource group. So this is the second prerequisite we need to use in order to create any service. I'm saying data factory means not only data factory, anything if you want to create, we need to select an existing resource group, or if we don't have the existing resource group, we need to create a new one to organize our resources. Next, the third thing is, if you are creating a data factory, we need to decide the data factory name. If you are creating a Databricks, you need to give the Databricks name. If you are creating a data lake, you need to give the data lake name. So data factory name is a unique throughout the world, meaning it is unique name for entire world. If somebody is used this data factory name in the entire world anywhere, so you cannot able to use that particular same name, meaning it is a unique globally, unique completely in the universe. Okay, you can say. So this particular data factory is unique, not only for your account, it is enter globally, it is a unique. You must have to choose a name which identify your data factory uniquely. That is the first thing. Next, names are case insensitive. That is MyDF and MyDF refers to the same data factory, remember. So why we need first a name? Name is basically identify us uniquely. Let's say I am Malaya, so anybody can able to recognize me uniquely, right? So similarly, Cloud Pandit, somebody can able to uniquely identify the Cloud Pandit. So the names we will give to identify us uniquely. Similarly, we will provide the data factory name also to identify our data factory name uniquely. Next, ADF name must start with a letter or a number and can contain only letters, numbers, and a hyphen, meaning dash characters only. You should not have any other special characters. Every dash character must be immediately preceded and followed by a letter or a number. Consecutive dashes are not permitted in the container names, meaning you cannot have multiple dashes and you cannot end with any data factory name with a dash. Okay, so name can be only 3 to 63 characters long. It should not beyond 63 characters, or it should not be less than 3 characters of the data factory. So the final one, which is very important in order to create any service, is the region. What is region? Azure region is a geographical location where Microsoft data centers are situated, meaning physical location. Let's say you have 10 terabytes of data that you want to store. Your system is not enough. What you will do? You will make an order in the Flipkart. The hard disk will come to your home. You are storing the hard disk in your home. Whenever you want to store some data, you are storing the data in the hard disk and you are keeping in your home. When you say cloud, what happens? This disk will be there in the cloud somewhere in the US or UK or India, some other place. We will access that storage using our computer through the network and we will store the data. So when we are storing the data, now can you tell me where is my storage? My storage is in not my place, it is somewhere. So there are multiple places they are storing these kind of storage systems, computational systems. You need to tell the Microsoft Azure saying that in which location you want to store your data, in which location you need a compute. I want compute from East to West. I need a compute in India. I want storage in India. I want storage in UK. So you need to decide it. Okay, so Azure region is a geographical location where Microsoft data centers are situated. Each region contains multiple data centers that host Azure services, meaning within a US, you have East to West, East to West 2, and many other things. Okay, something like that. Multiple data centers are available within the each region. Choosing a region determines where your data and resources are physically located. As I mentioned, if I store my data by accessing the storage account which is in US, then whatever data I am uploading in that particular storage account, that will be loaded into the US data center. That is the physical missions where it is hosted. Okay, so these are impacting factors like latency and data compilation. For example, all your business users are in India, you are storing a data in US. So it takes a lot of time to travel from US to India. There is a latency, it will increase, the performance will be very bad. So that's why always remember, based on your business, where is your business? Your business in India means try to store your data also in India. So finally, choose the Azure region where you want to deploy your data factory. So these are the 4 prerequisites that we need to use, not only for the Azure data factory, any service that you are using in Azure, you must have to have these 4 things: a subscription, a resource group, a region, and the fourth one is name. So if you are creating a data factory name. If you are creating a Databricks name. If you are creating a data lake name should be there. Let's quickly see how to create this through the user interface. Okay, I'll come here. Okay, here you can say portal.azure.com is the URL to log in. As I mentioned, this is the account I have created. I'm logging in. So now, as I mentioned, very quickly, to identify any service, you can quickly search here data factories. It will come, click on the data factory. Okay, now in order to create this data factory using the UI, right, just click create here. So subscription automatically it is taking, this is a subscription that I have. So this is the first prerequisite. The second prerequisite is resource group. What is the resource group? So I don't have any resource group. If you see dropped, okay, I have 3, but I want to create a new one. So click create new. If you want to create a new, you can click create new. If you want to use the existing one, you can use it. Okay, let's say I want to create a new. I can say that Cloud Pandit new video series. Okay, so to make the name simple, right, Cloud Pandit video series. Okay, Cloud Pandit hyphen video series is the resource group. So this is the subscription. So name of the data factory, I can say Cloud Pandit. Okay, so Cloud Pandit iPhone ADF 3107 I am giving. Okay, let's say in real time it will be something like this: name iPhone ADF. Okay, iPhone. So for example, if it is a dev iPhone ADF dev, and some number to identify uniquely. Let's say I'm giving 3107, which is a 31 is the date, 07 is the month. Okay, so that is the name of the data factor I have given. Region is east to west I'm choosing. There is only one version is there. Earlier we have V1 and V2, but V1 is decommissioned. Now we have only V2. Once you have given this 5, just click review plus create. So remaining git configuration, network, advanced things, everything, it will take the default values. Okay, those are not mandatory for us. So once everything is fine, once it is validated, the create button will be enabled. If it is enabled means you need to understand that. So everything, whatever details you have provided is correct. Now just click create in order to create the Azure Data Factory. Okay, so now what happens, within a minute this particular data factory will be available. By the time it is available, let me quickly take you through the some of the summary questions that we have planned to discuss. So once this is done, so can you tell me how long does it typically take to create Azure Data Factory instance? Remember, it just takes a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. It will not take more than few minutes. Okay. Next, which of the following option is required to create an Azure Data Factory? So Azure Resource Group, Azure Region, Azure Data Factory name. So what is the answer? I hope everybody is good. So all of the above is the answer. Next. What is the primary purpose of creating the Azure Data Factory instance? So that main purpose is data integration and orchestration. The answer is C. Can we create Azure Data Factory without logging into the portal? Yes. As I mentioned, we have multiple ways to create the Azure Data Factory. In the next sessions, I'm going to discuss that. So yes, the answer is true. Which of the following tools or interfaces can be used to create an Azure Data Factory? Yes, Azure PowerShell, Python SDK, Azure Data Factory Portal, all of the above. Yes, the answer is all of the above. We can use any of these things to create the Azure Data Factory. Which of the following is required to create an Azure Data Factory? An Azure subscription, SQL Server database, local development environment, virtual private network connection. Remember, subscription is mandatory in order to create the data factory. When creating an Azure Data Factory, what are supported regions for deployment? What are the different locations it supports? Is all the locations wherever Azure services are supported or physically there, wherever Azure data centers are available, everywhere data factory can be created. So that's why the answer is all Azure regions globally. So the final question is, what is the key benefit of using Azure Data Factory over traditional on-premise data integration solutions? The answer is very simple. The cloud is coming up with a serverless. It saves a lot of cost, no upfront investments and all. So that's why you can say the answer is low cost. Okay, lower cost. Okay, so that's all. Let me quickly show you. So if you see the your deployment is completed, your deployment is completed. Just you go to inputs. If you go to inputs, right, so you can see here all the details that you are seeing. Right here you can see, right, all the details: subscription, resource group, name of the data factory, which version, in which location. So do you have any tags or something? Everything you are able to see. Okay, again go back to the overview. Now your deployment is completed. Now just click on go to resource. This is the overview page. In the overview page also we can able to see the status is succeeded. Location is this to us under free trial. This is a subscription ID. So data factory version 2 we have created. If you want documentation of Azure Data Factory, click on quick start. If you want to go inside Data Factory Studio, just click on launch studio. Okay, so this is the Azure Data Factory Studio. So where you can able to see the different tabs that we will have. So let's quickly discuss these tabs in the next session. Okay, if you have any questions, team, you can feel free to put it your comments in the comment section. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section. I'll answer those things. And I request all of you to subscribe my channel to get more updates on the Azure Data Factory and Databricks, etc. Thank you. Thank you. That's all for today.